This is 5 minutes of Bible study from Did You Know the Bible Teaches at thebibleteaches.org, and this time we will be talking about God's servants and voting. And it's kind of sad to say that season is upon us again when political ads and false national pride and empty promises and incivility dominate the airwaves and almost all aspects of American culture. This, of course, always raises the question, what should be the believer's relationship to politics and voting? Well, the Bible is pretty clear that the believers in God, the servants of Him and His Son, should not vote or be involved in politics. And the Bible teaches that for three reasons. First, governments are corrupt. Second, the Bible teaches that God is in charge. And third, the Bible teaches that the world is actually really opposed to God. First, we shouldn't vote because all nations are fundamentally flawed and unjust. The psalmist in the 146th Psalm says, "Put not your trust in princes, nor in the Son of Man, in whom there is no help." While governments provide beneficial order and services, we just have to look around us to see that they are frequently corrupt, full of empty promises, oppressive, and unjust. Governments are a human institution and therefore subject to all of our failings, faults, and our worst tendencies. The prophet Samuel warned that a king would take away the best from the people for his own use, and the prophet Jeremiah complained that leaders followed their own ways and not God's. That was true thousands of years ago, and we see it again today. Next, the Bible teaches that it's God who is in charge. Ultimately, God is in control of the world. The prophet Daniel records that the world should know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and set it up over the basis of men. Centuries later, the Apostle Paul wrote that governments exist by the will of God. God has declared all nations and people of this world will serve His Son as King. Ultimately, activities like elections and politics are pointless, as God is the one who is in charge and His plan will be realized. Lastly, the Bible teaches that the world is in opposition to God. No matter the best intentions, those who serve God cannot also serve the world. James, the brother of Jesus, said, "Whosoever is a friend of the world is the enemy of God." God's plan for the world has His Son ruling in a future kingdom over the entire earth. The kingdom of His Son will replace all the institutions and powers of the world. To be siding with those powers and trying to make them in control is really to be contrary to God's plan. As Jesus said, "No man can serve two masters, for he either will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other." We must choose between service to God or service to the world. The writer of the Hebrews records, "All these," that is the Old Testament worthies, "died in faith, not having received the promises, but having seen them afar off, and were persuaded of them, and embraced them, and confessed that they were strangers and pilgrims on the earth." That is the attitude that the servants of Christ and the servants of God should take. Ones that do not identify with this current world and the politics thereof and the leaders thereof, but instead we should confess that we are strangers and pilgrims waiting for the return of His Son. If you would like to hear more about what the Bible really teaches, check out www.thebibleteaches.org.